Hi, everybody. Welcome to this segment of the Play Big Movement podcast with Sharon Lechter. Today, I have a new friend, and we met on Clubhouse. And I know most of you have heard of the rage of Clubhouse, but it truly is creating kingdoms, new opportunities for people building brands, and just absolutely have loved being in the same rooms with Isis Djata. And I'm so happy that you're with me here today. Welcome, Isis.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor, Sharon. Thank you for having me.
Well, by way of introduction, I mean, we've got a very long introduction, but I'm going to basically she's an American screenwriter, director, producer, actor, master moderator when it comes to Clubhouse. And she was the first Black female to write and direct an Italian mob show. That was probably interesting. And she owns the company Locked and Loaded Films, a full service production company. But she is now just become the queen of Clubhouse, created her own show. She's going to talk to us a little bit about that. She has been in both for-profit and nonprofit environments, and she is just an incredible young woman and totally impressed me every time I'm in a Clubhouse room where she's there. She's a fantastic moderator. So welcome, Isis. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Sharon. Real honor to be here with you today.
Well, what I like to start with when I'm interviewing someone is to tell us what's not in your bio. Tell me about little Isis. Right now you're joining me from New York. So tell us a little bit about little Isis.
Well, I didn't have always the best start. I had a wonderful mom, my beautiful mother, African mother, may she rest in peace. Her name was Lydia Alote, and I always tell people I am who I am today because of her. But things were not always easy. She left my father when we were kids, and there were 5 of us, and I was the youngest. And my mom often was away working overseas in Africa. She owned an import-export business. So when she did leave my dad, she was often working for months at a time, sometimes years at a time, to support us. So things weren't always easy. Sometimes when people hear my background from when I was a kid, they're surprised by what I've achieved. But I think I always say to people that, you are going to write your story. And it's not the way you start, it's the way you finish, and it's up to you. So no matter how things start out for you, no matter how much adversity you have to overcome, use that as a something to catapult you forward and inspire you to do better and to want more. And I think my rough start did that for me. And I'm actually really grateful for my humble beginnings and growing up less fortunate as far as monetarily, because it taught me so much and really shaped my character. And the woman I am today is because of all of the struggles I had as a younger person.
Well, I love that. I have a client, Amanda Williams. She says, turn your mess into your message. And I go, well, let's add something. Turn your mess into your miracle, into your
That's right.
message. Just how, the miracle is how you rose above it and were able to film, to create a life of incredible reputation. So tell us how you first got into the production company side of things.
Yeah, so I'm going to surprise you. I actually am a high school dropout. So I was in 11th grade, and I had been in a good high school, but my school was switched because I had been stalked by an older man. And finally, the police caught the guy and they switched my high school. And then I was thrust into this really bad high school. And there were these girls in a gang who were adamant that they were going to slash my face. And I was 17 and I had never been in a fight because my sisters always stuck up for me. And I just said, you know what? I can't seem to get an education here. I'm just trying to go to school, but I can't seem to. I was taken from my great school and put into this really bad high school. And all these people want to do is fight and terrorize people. So I made the decision in 11th grade to leave. And I was afraid and I was so down on myself because I was like, high school dropout, not something I saw for myself. But then I found a college that was offering anyone who could earn 24 college credits, the GED, because the idea was if you can earn 24 college credits, you would easily pass the GED test. So I took that opportunity, went to Mercy College, got my bachelor's of science. After that, I came out, worked in corporate America, rose up to director, then went to law school. Came out of law school, 3 months before I graduated, hit head on by a drunk driver. Mm-hmm. I had already paid to take the bar exam, knew I wasn't going to pass because I was still banged up, couldn't really study. But I said, take the test, get the jitters out. So I took it, New Jersey came within like 15 points. New York, I was way off, about 100 points off. So I said, well, what are you going to do now? So I leveraged my law degree, got a job in senior management again in healthcare. Now, instead of for-profit healthcare management, I was on the nonprofit side. Got promoted to director, making six figures, and loved it, was great. But then after 2 years, I decided that I was going to chase my real dream. And I decided to move on and become a full-time filmmaker. And I love mob movies and mob shows. So I said, I am going to create the next great American mob show. So I moved on and formed Locked and Loaded Films, my production company, assembled a crew and a cast of 50 and started filming.
That's exciting. And that, that is probably, a lot of people are afraid to take that next step. They don't have the grit, they don't have the courage. But probably the fact that your mom wasn't around and you guys had to take care of yourselves and you had to make those decisions, you actually found a way to accomplish things and feel good about yourself so that you have the courage to see what you want and go after it. And I think that's a real testament to you and certainly the ongoing love your mom had, because she was doing what she needed to do to take care of you guys, right?
Yes, I do think that's where I got it from, my mom, and having to kind of, take care of myself a lot when she wasn't there. My grandma would come in town and help us, and she was full of so much wisdom. I tell people all the time, I am who I am because of my mother and grandmother. May they rest in peace. I mean, really, I learned so much from them, but I think you're right. That's where I got the courage to leave us, move on from a six-figure job. Because of course, my friends and family said, are you crazy? Everybody's trying to get to six figures. And now you're saying you're going to go become a filmmaker. They said, you will be homeless in 6 months. So I was afraid, but I took the chance.
You stepped out of your comfort zone. And that's one of the things, a lot of, I think it was Tim Story who said, or either Les Brown, your dreams die within comfort zones because people don't step out and fill their dreams. And I think it's really important for everybody watching and listening. They've heard me probably say many times, have to close one door for other doors of opportunity to open. And you knew you could always go back and do something else, but you had your dream and you wanted to pursue it. And I think a lot of people are still so fearful and sitting back and kind of living the same life every single day. So what kind of message do you have for people that are listening to this and saying, wow, easy for her to say, it wasn't so easy to do? So share a little bit of wisdom for the people watching and listening that may be kind of stuck.
It really starts with your mindset. People use this term, fake it till you make it. I don't like that term only because you don't want to fake anything. But what I will say is when it comes to confidence, sometimes it's not completely there. So instead I say, believe it until you can achieve it. It really starts with your mindset, and it really has to do with your confidence. If you believe in yourself more than anyone else, you can achieve anything you want in this world. And I really believe that to be true. I'm actually a case study of it. I'm living a Cinderella story. And I was someone who came on Clubhouse 12 weeks ago, completely unknown, a small fish in a big pond, and still consider myself a small fish in a big pond. And I've been able to soar like a rocket because I believed in myself. And I knew that I belonged in the room. And I wanted to show the people that inspired me that I was a value adder. And I was able to do that through moderating. And it just shows again that when you believe in yourself, you can be on Sharon Lechter's podcast. I mean, you can be on stage with Grant Cardone moderating his room. You can be on stage with Damon John, but it starts with confidence. And if you don't have the confidence yet, my advice to everyone is to believe it until you can achieve it. Believe you have it for now. Tell yourself every day, I am confident, I can do this, I got this. And soon, your brain will start to say, yes, you will train your brain to believe you can. Another tip is be authentic. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. I think the other powerful thing for me was I came on the app as Isis Djata, and that never changed. And I've been really consistent throughout. And I think that's one of the main reasons that I've been able to monetize Clubhouse. And I have such high profile clients because they saw that in me and they watched me over time in my trajectory and just said, she's just an honest person. Also, I like to fly out and take people to lunch.
Well, we'll have to get that on the calendar. We're going to actually see each other when we are both at 10X. I'm excited about that. So tell me a little bit about, because there's a lot of people that are on Clubhouse that are just spending a lot of time and energy. They're becoming Clubhouseaholics, and they haven't figured out that, you have to show up, you have to contribute, but also you should probably figure out how to monetize it. So share how you're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I scaled my following from 0 to about 40,000 in 8 weeks. And at that time, full disclosure, Sharon, I was spending a lot of time on Clubhouse, probably about 15 hours a day. I made it a job for myself. As I am a filmmaker by trade working for myself, I can't really shoot that much right now as outside is not officially back open yet. So I took that opportunity to be on Clubhouse, but I decided to be strategic about it and really leverage the platform and start making those connections by doing the work for free. So I would, go into rooms. I would open my own rooms to start. That's number one. I said, Isis, if you're a value adder, when I first came to Clubhouse, to be honest with you, in full disclosure, I came there with my core belief to lead with giving rather than receiving, because when you do that, you get everything you want. And what I mean by that is, I received over $350,000 for free from an angel gift donor one Thanksgiving when I volunteered to feed the homeless. And that money I used to film the feature pilot for my show Mob Mentality. So when I first came to Clubhouse, my intention was to teach other indie filmmakers how they can also obtain money for free. So I literally held all of these rooms just doing a brain dump, going over everything I did, and was never trying to monetize at all, wasn't trying to sell anything. And what happened, Sharon, was I unintentionally monetized my indie TV and film masterclasses because people were going to my bio while I was on stage speaking. And they said, you're a director, you do one sheets, you do this, you do that, you do consulting. They started DMing me like crazy. I want to hire you for this and that. And that's when I first realized, oh, I didn't know you could even monetize this platform because it wasn't my intention. So it was after that that I started just holding more rooms. And I started to people started to know me as someone who cultivated great conversations and held really great rooms. And then one day I was on a stage as a moderator. Somebody moderated me in a room where Grant Cardone was there and he was moderated. And I said something that apparently resonated and he started following me. And it was after that, all of these amazing, super successful people, millionaires, all started following me. So I said to myself, well, Isis, how can you leverage this newfound following you have with these really, high profile people to give back to others, always wanting to lead with giving rather than receiving. So I started holding practice pitch rooms and I would ask the millionaires to come sit on the panel to judge pitches. And basically people were coming up who had invented something or they had a business where they needed to raise capital. So we would allow them to do a practice pitch so that we could prepare them to knock their pitch out of the park when they really went to get that capital they needed. Sharon, something amazing happened. I think 5 to 10 of the people who did the practice pitch actually got offers from the millionaires on the panel because their pitches were so good. So I think the fact that I always led with giving, always added value, it made me stand out. And after Grant followed me, it really helped me to soar. And then he started having me master moderate on his stages. I co-moderated for the kickoff of his 10X Club. And he would just use me and then he would give me the most amazing compliments on stage in front of everyone. One day he said to me, Isis, you are the best moderator I have heard on here. And I nearly fell off my chair because I said, wow, did Grant Cardone just say that? But then one day I was moderating for Grant and Damon John from Shark Tank was in the room because, many times when many of these high profile people hold rooms, some of their buddies come in, like sometimes you come into rooms, it's very natural. You just come in the hallway and you see, oh, my friend's holding a room. So many times people go in. So Damon came into Grant's room and I was moderating. And one day Damon said, hold on. He said, Isis, I have to tell you that you are one of the best moderators I have ever heard. You should have your own talk show. And I nearly fainted, Sharon, because I said, wait a second. The Damon John of Shark Tank, one of my favorite shows, who had the clothing line that I adored. We all wore FUBU when we were younger. It was the coolest thing around for, young Black girls. Did he just say to me that I should have my own talk show? I nearly fainted, Sharon. And it was that. And then when he followed me, of course, I needed someone to fan me, to revive me. It was those things happening. And then people like Damon bringing me on his stage and allowing me to master moderate for him that really started to set me apart. And people got to see, not only is she a great master moderator, but they just saw that I was a value adder too, that I had a lot of value to add. So that's really how things started to take off for me.
I love that you showed up and you made that contribution, and just you elevated your own personal brand very quickly by contributing and showing up. And I actually also don't like the fake it till you make it phrase. I say, you know, earn the right and then dress the part and contribute. Showing up is half the battle. And certainly, yes, I definitely love, you know, Napoleon Hill's line is conceive it, believe it, and achieve it. So it's very important to have that faith in yourself and push yourself a little bit. When you know your faith is a little weak, surround yourself with the right people. And
Yes.
certainly I've seen your incredible skyrocket growth within Clubhouse, and I think it's fantastic and
Thank
delighted to be able to share that with our audience here. And so if somebody wants to hear more about you and they're not on Clubhouse, how can they find ISIS?
Oh, sure. Well, there are a few ways. Well, actually, one main way. They can go to, if they want to follow me on social media, on Instagram, I'm Isis, ISIS Djata, DJATA. They can also go to my website, meetisisdjata.com. And I was recently in an article, so if they read Yahoo Finance, they might see me. I just found out I was listed as one of the think 16 people to watch on Clubhouse, or it's amazing. So it's been amazing. So Isis Djata on Instagram, meet Isis Djata on is my business website. And if people want to tune into my show, tonight is the kickoff episode, they can go to the isisdjatashow.com, and the show will stream live on Instagram and live on Clubhouse Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't realize it was going to be every single night. Good for you. Well, I want to thank you for being with me this morning and really sharing your thoughts. And I think, you know, I want people watching, listening to rewind and listen to this, because she showed up, she put in the time, 15 hours a day, right? She made that energy and that effort, and it more than paid off because she was contributing and adding value and using her talents to support others. And so that's a great lesson for all of us to hear. Thank you so much, Isis. You're going to hang out with me for a few more minutes because we're going to do another recording for the private Facebook group, the Play Big Movement. And so those of you watching and listening, if you are not part of the group, please do join us. It's free, where we go a little bit more personal, in depth, because success is not a straight line. So we talk a little bit about the bounces and we talk about the daily habits. So please join us in the private Facebook group. And Isis, thank you so much for holding on. And for the rest of you, go out and play a bigger game. Be number one in your field, live your legacy, and create maximum impact. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sharon.